Hey there, it's RBB. Today in Maya, we're going to, this is again probably number two of the beginner series. I introduced a very simple user interface. And then in an older video, we talked about setting your project. So I just want to revisit that really quick since that video is a little old, or feel free to go back and watch it. But it's really important in Maya that you set your project. And in many applications and software, the more complex the program gets, the more it needs to have its own sort of under the hood organization, its own files. It knows where to go to things. So, like if you've ever been using, say, After Effects, and you move some of the footage that you've been using, the next time you open that project, you'll get those color bars and you'll freak out thinking all your work is lost. But it's only because After Effects is looking in the last place that you told it. If you said it's on the desktop, when you open that project again, After Effects is going to look on the desktop. And if it's moved into a folder on the desktop, it doesn't know where it is. So Maya is even more complex because there's so much going on, and so many different tasks, from modeling and lighting, and there's so much going on that it creates its own project folder, that has, scenes and data and resource images and all kinds of stuff. And if you don't tell it which project you're using, stuff will just be scattered all over the place. Let me show you what it looks like. So if you go to your project window, and if you're, I'm just going to sort of talk about this again in case you don't go to set your project, but under File, if you go to Project Window, what pops up is this folder structure right here, and this is what Maya needs in order to work. So you can name a brand new project if you want. Now, depending where you're working, if you're working like at school or at home, it's going to have a different location. But when you install Maya, it puts its own Maya folder wherever it wants to. So for me, it's in my documents. So if you're on your own personal computer, it's probably in documents. And Maya creates a folder called Maya. I didn't make this folder right here. Maya did. Okay. And in that Maya folder, there will be some different variations for different years, but then there'll be a folder called projects. And in that projects folder will be these sets of folders. The way I always explain it to my students is it's like a chest of drawers, or if you're from Georgia, Chester drawers. A chest of drawers, like a dresser. And if you have a dresser full of like your summer clothes, you wouldn't want to take something out of one drawer and just throw it on the floor, unless you're my tween daughter. Or you wouldn't want to put winter coats in one of these drawers, right? Your summer clothes go in here. So when you go to look for your summer clothes, you found it in the summer clothes set. All right. If you have an art supply chest of drawers, if you have a whatever. So all of the different projects will have all the pertinent information to that project. And if you don't tell Maya, hey, I'm using this set of drawers, it'll throw everything into a default folder, which is sort of just like opening your room and throwing it in. Okay, you don't know where it is. It could be mixed up with all kinds of other stuff. You're never going to find it. And if you have to keep looking at it and finding it, it's like digging through that knee-high pile of laundry that you know is on your floor and your mom's been telling you to clean it up. Okay. So in this case, I already have a folder called Modeling Practice, and it lives in my Documents folder in Maya in Projects. And that Modeling Practice project has all of these folders automatically: scenes, templates, images, blah, 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 blah. Okay. All I have to do if I already have a project is say, yeah, go ahead and accept this. If I am making a new project, okay, so if I say new project and I called this whatever, like, let's call it YouTube practice, YouTube practice. You'll see me put underscores under there. It's just good habit because lots of programs don't really like spaces. So I'm going to call this one, let's get rid of that new project word there. Boop. Helps to say boop. YouTube practice. Okay. And it's going to go in projects. Now, when I say accept, nothing particularly happens. Okay. Except for that under the hood in that Maya folder, there is now a project called YouTube practice. So the next time I open Maya, which is, say, now, or I go away for a while, or I'm not sure if I've set my project or whatever. If I go to File, now instead of Project Window where we made a new project, I would say Set Project. And it's under this little header that says Project, right? There's only two. So Set Project. It will go into that Maya folder in my documents, into the projects folder. And these are all the different folders that I have on this machine of different ones that I've been working on. Okay. The default one is the open the door and throw it in on the pile. We don't want that. These are all kinds of different things I've been working on. You saw a minute ago I had modeling practice, and here's the new YouTube practice. If I double click on this, here's all those folders it said it was going to make, and they all live in YouTube practice. Okay. So I'm like, yep, that's the one I want. I just say set. Again, no bells and whistles, nothing went off, no fireworks, but I know that it is now living in everything that I do. When it is saving something under the hood, it's automatically going to go in the correct drawers. Okay, so setting your project is incredibly important. If halfway through this work session, I decide I'm going to go work on a snowman project, I'm going to go work on a spaceship project, I'm going to go work on something else, I just go up to File, to Set Project, and then I pick a different set of drawers I'm working in. If I don't, like let's say I'm still in YouTube practice, which is what we're doing right now, and then I start working on a spaceship and then just randomly save it in this YouTube practice, it's like trying to find that favorite t-shirt that is God knows where, somewhere in your house, in somebody's room, in somebody's drawer. So it's very important to set your project. Now, I know I'm saying this over and over again, but in the couple weeks that we work on Maya, I say this like 5 times during a class period, and 30% of students, they'll answer me, set your project, and then they don't do it. And then they freak out when everything's lost, or I come over and look and they're searching on their desktop for stuff, and and it's ridiculous. So eventually when you get more complex, it's just simply not going to work. But even right now, what a pain in the butt. I mean, why not keep your stuff organized? Why not pick up your laundry that I already folded for you and put it in the drawer where it belongs? Okay, enough about that. All right. So just in case, gosh, I've been ranting and raving. Did I set my project? I don't know. I can't remember. Set project. Let's go ahead and work on YouTube practice. Set. Okay. So if you look back at the user interface video, we went real quick over this kind of stuff, and I'll repeat a lot of stuff each video, but we're just going to do something really simple today. We're going to talk about navigation, how to move around, and then I think we'll maybe call it good, and that's probably enough for today. Okay, so here's all of our different menus, which we talked about. Here's all of our icons. If you work right-brained and like to be like, I want to make a cube. There's a cube. Click on the cube. I'm in the poly modeling tool set. Also, I'm in the modeling set up here. You'll notice that there are other options, rigging animation, blah, blah, blah. If I switch, that's going to give me new menus. Oh, and if you looked at the video the other day when I talked about new, when there's new stuff in a version in 2026, this Bifrost rigging is new for 2026. So it's in these bright green brackets. Now in the next iteration, like in 2027, this will no longer be highlighted. So just out of curiosity, I went in animation, nothing new. Effects, nothing new. Rendering, nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, back to modeling, poly modeling. Okay, now this right here is our grid, and the grid for me just helps me kind of stay grounded, because when you're in 3D and there's nothing, excuse me, and there's nothing, it's kind of hard to see, kind of, like, where am I? Which way is up? That helps. Also, it's a grid because it's a grid, and if I'm on a team and I'm measuring stuff, or I'm making furniture, I'm making terrain, we would know our grid size. Maybe each unit is a foot, or each unit is half a mile, or each unit is a city block. I mean, you just whatever. Okay, then everybody will be modeling in the same sort of scale. I can tell which way is up. Only because, well, right over here, there's this little icon that doesn't have to be here, but it says top on top and then front and right. So we're seeing it sort of off to the side. Also down here, you'll see this little widget that has X, Y, and Z. Now notice that X, Y, Z, RGB, right? RGB, you know what that is, right? If not, go back and look at the video. XYZ, RGB, they go in order. So when you're talking about 3D um, coordinates and you see in parentheses it written like 21 comma 0 comma 0, you know that it's moved 20 units in the X, right? X comma Y comma Z. It also stands for, of course, side to side. Now you can't see me, but I'm like shuffling my arms like, walk like an Egyptian. That's the X coordinate, right? The Y coordinate is up and down, okay, from like the ground up and down. And the Z coordinate is to and from the camera. Okay, so that's the 3 dimensions. 2 dimensions is flat, right? It's your screen is 2-dimensional. And we've added the ability to zoom in and out to approach something. That's the third, that's 3D, right? So X, Y, Z. So if I were to move around and it's like, golly, which way is up? I don't know, that looks like up. I can look down here and say, oh no, look, I'm actually upside down. So there you go. That's right side up. Now, RBB, how the heck did you just fling all around like that? Well, I'm going to tell you, you are going to live, I'm going to cough again. Excuse me. You are going to live with your left hand on your keyboard and your right hand on your mouse. You don't need any special stylus. You don't need a Wacom tablet. You don't need anything for Maya because it's all about right click, left click, middle click, and bunches of hotkeys. So it actually, I think, would slow you down if you were trying to do this with a stylus. So your right hand is on your mouse, your left hand is on your keyboard. To toggle around, to move around, we're going to hit Alt, okay, or whatever it is on a Mac. Is it Command? No, that's Command, Control, Alt, Option. So Option on a Mac, I'm just going to say Alt because, you know, because I'm on a PC. All right, so Alt, I hold down Alt, and if I left mouse click, okay, you'll see that little widget appear, and I'm holding down Alt, and I'm holding down my left mouse click, and I can toggle around, okay? Doesn't matter where I click on the screen, I will simply toggle around. And notice that this center origin right here is pinned in the middle. It's not going anywhere, right? No matter what craziness I do, it's stuck there in the middle, okay? All right, so that's for toggling around. If I hold Alt and I middle mouse click, and you need a 3-button mouse because you're going to want the middle mouse. If I middle mouse click, okay, then I'm going to pan around like the hand does in Photoshop and lots of other programs. It's like I stuck my hand down and I slid it over. Like, I don't want this anymore. No more Jello for me, Mom. Okay, you put your hand down and slide things around. You can slide all around the scene, okay? If you hold Alt and right click, you guess what? You're going to zoom in and out. You can sort of tell by the little widget, right? I'm sort of rolling side to side. It doesn't really matter whichever way you go. Like I could roll around in circles. It's still going to go zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so that's holding Alt and left, middle, and right click. If I'm not holding Alt and I left click, okay, it's not doing anything because there's nothing to select. But if there was something here and I left clicked on it, like almost every other program in the world, left click is going to select it. Okay. Middle mouse click isn't doing anything. Now the right mouse, you'll see me do this sometimes because I'm old school. If I hold down right mouse without clicking anything, generally a toolbox will fly out, and it will depend on what's on my screen which toolbox flies out. But just know that most of the stuff that flies out like that is now really handy dandy over here and very visible. Back in the Stone Ages, when I started, we didn't have all these nice little icon widgets. Like you had to know where stuff lived in these folders. It was terrible. Oh my God. All right. So right click and those things pop up. Okay. So yeah, left click, toggle around, middle mouse click and Alt, pan around, okay? And right click, zoom in and out. Now, if you're not holding anything and you scroll the middle mouse wheel, you will also zoom in and out. So you'll see whatever sort of way you like to do that, okay? If I hit the space bar, and I'm telling you this because you're going to accidentally do it. If I hit the space bar, I will split into these different views. Now, don't freak out, okay? It's very helpful, and you're going to want to do this sometimes. Notice in my 4 windows at the bottom of each window, it tells me what's in this window. So this is my perspective view, Okay, I can move around in this view just like I could in the full screen. This is my perspective camera. It's kind of my workhorse camera. Okay. This is my X side, this is my Z side, and this is the top. These views are orthographic, which means they don't have any perspective. So you guys know that if something is further away from you, it appears smaller. So if I had a series of cubes, they would look like they were getting smaller into the distance, right? Like electrical poles. I was gonna say telephone poles. Do we even have telephone poles anymore? Anyway, they would recede into the distance. In orthographic view, they wouldn't. They would be lined up perfectly still. There's no perspective. There's no fall off. Okay. And that's really handy to line things up. If I'm trying to line things up perfectly, I can't really necessarily tell in perspective how close am I, but I can look at these orthographic views. Okay. If I want any one of these orthographic views to be the main screen, I simply hover over the screen that I want to be the main view, top Y, and hit my space bar again. Now look, top Y is my main screen. Oh no, RBB, I want perspective. It's all right. I'm going to hit space bar, move over to my perspective window, hit the space bar, and there's perspective again. Now, please keep in mind, there are 500 ways to do this. Somebody out there is screaming, why don't you just this button? Why don't you just do it up there? Well, you know what? Make your own damn video, okay? This is the way I suggest it. And I'm here to teach people who are really new at this and want to learn this without paying, $100 gazillion to learn it somewhere. So this is the way I'm teaching you. You want to learn it a different way? That's fine. Knock yourself out. Okay, so I've had a lot of caffeine today. Okay, there's perspective, there's perspective. You can also, these are panels, and in that panel right here, we're going to wind up doing this a bunch of times in the next couple of videos. You also can change the perspective. Now, in this case, perspective means my point of view, as opposed to perspective meaning receding into the distance. Right? So two different things. This is more like point of view. So in this panel, what is your point of view? I can choose a different camera. And right now I only have my perspective camera, but later on when I make my own cameras, there could be a list of cameras here. I can look at it in stereo. I could look at it in my orthographic views, front, side, top. Okay. Or if I have something on the screen, like a cube or whatever, or a camera or a light, I can look through the thing that is selected. Okay. So, they've got all kinds of cool other fun stuff here. You can also, let's say in this view, you don't really want these orthographic ones. You'd like your perspective one here. And man, I wish I had my outliner here or something else. You can always change what is in that window. Here's my hypergraph. Okay, whatever. Okay. Or tear it off. But for the most part, if you accidentally do this, no big deal. Hover over it and hit perspective. Okay. All right, so we've already gone, it's already been about 17 minutes, and that may be enough. This is just navigation, I guess, for today, and then I'll make another one about moving objects, okay? But just to recap, make sure you set your project. If you forget, it's been a while, you're not sure, open up the set project, click on it, say set, it doesn't hurt anything. If we wanted to save this scene now, there's nothing to save, but if we wanted to save this scene, we would go to File, Save Scene As, because we've not saved it at all yet, right? And notice where it went. It went into Maya, to Projects, to YouTube Practice, into the Scenes folder automatically because we were smart and set our project. So I would call this scene yada, 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 yada. Okay? And when I save it, there's nothing to save, but when I save it, I now have a scene, yada, yada. So tomorrow when I come back in and I'm playing again, I set my project. Oh, I think I'll work on YouTube Practice today. Oh, where's my great yada, yada scene? I can go to File, Open Scene, and there's the scene that I just saved in the Scenes folder. If I just saved it randomly on the desktop or God knows where, I'd have to go find it. Okay? Set your project. All right. So there you go. I think that's probably enough. In the next video, we're going to build, not build, we're just going to, quick make some primitives. And we're going to talk about what those primitives are and how to move those primitives. All right. Hope that was helpful. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.